I mentioned apprenticeship, internship also. Whilst you're in school, please, every vacation, do well to join a company. Do well to join a company that you'd love to work with and say, hey, so my name is Kwame Ansan and I am a welder and I'd like to offer my service to you for free. That's internship. You have the time, you need their expertise. So exchange that. Don't expect money because what you'll be learning from them is very good. Guess what? When you do a good job being an intern, when you're done, at the end of your service or end of your time, you'll be one of the people that would want to retain. So internship is very important. Industry partnerships. Fortunately, a lot of TVET schools have partnered with companies that will make sure that you would get into or do your internship at the right place. That's a very good thing. And then, yes, guidance and mentorship like this, where every now and then you organize these seminars, these talks to encourage your students, encourage people to be proud and stay in and find ways to be better in the TVET space. Next slide, please. Now, overcoming challenges. I choose not to call them challenges, if you ask me. I think it's hurdles, a way to be better. I mentioned how we look down on TVET students. Societal perception. People think that we are not clever. People think we get in there because we didn't get good grades, but it's not true. Do you know, I'll tell you this. Now, the cars that are coming out, it takes a lot of intellect. Cars have moved from being mechanical to being electronic, and now we have electric cars, right? So it takes a lot of intellect to get into this. Societal perceptions in the endorsement, and if you're a woman in TVET, oh boy, it's even more interesting. I'll share the story with you. So once upon a time, I sprayed a customer's vehicle. It was a BM E90. Yeah, it was an E90, the BMW 3 Series. And then it was removed for about 6 weeks. When he picked it up, he called me late in the night, about 12 midnight thereabouts, and I panicked. I'm like, hey, what happened? Had he gone to crash his car? What happened? He calls and says, Nana, what do you do to my car? I mean, to me, be a full tank cover. I'm sorry if you don't speak English. I'll say it in English. Nana, what do you do to my car? I'm not able to open my full tank cover. What has spraying a vehicle got to do with full tank cover, right? But because I'm a woman, he just assumed that I have spoiled something. So these are some of the perceptions. And what I decided to do was persevere. It makes me study twice as much to be better at my crafts. It makes me go on to invest in myself. I attend workshops, I attend seminars to see what is going on in other parts of the world. And I have found ways to embrace my diversity. What do I mean? I've understood that the path to being the best mechanic in the world is not linear. Sometimes you go left, you go right, you come back, you go left. It's not linear. And I've understood that. There are times things are so tough. You know, you expect that from A, you should go to B, right? But you jump to C and come back to A and come to B. And you should accept that. It's part of it. As I mentioned, once you have that passion and the burning desire, that should keep you going. So embrace it. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so this brings me to the end of my presentation. I want you to take home this. Number one, the need to improve on your crafts. Do not settle for mediocrity. Always take advantage of technology to learn more about what is going on in other parts of the world. Very important because it's good, it's necessary to stay relevant. Number two, always accept feedback from your clients. Always, if not your clients, your teachers, always accept feedback. Number three, have a burning desire to keep learning. Do not stop. Do not stop. Keep learning. See, I will go on to take an engineering course. I will. I'm planning on taking a 3-year degree in mechatronics, and I'm happy to speak to Miss Penelope about this. But yes, I'm not ending there. I want to go on to do more. I'm not letting age stop me. I'm not letting my gender stop me. I'm not letting my not having an engineering background stop me. I want to do this and I will do it. So if you forget anything at all, please remember these 3 things and we will all be on our way to being the best. Thank you. Thank you, Monica. This is the end of my presentation.
So amazing. We are not letting our gender stop us from pursuing what we love, and we are not letting societal perspectives from stopping us from pursuing what we love. And I love that you made emphasis on experience, because in Africa, we have a lot of negative perceptions about artisans, you know, and lots of stories and negative perceptions. The negative ones outweigh the positive. And you mentioned that if you want to learn how to lay blocks, start from learning how to lay one block. And when you have crafted, when you have mastered that skill, then you can continue to become the grand you, or the excellent or the perfectionist profession that you want to pursue. I'm so inspired, and I believe that participants have questions. I would encourage that you drop your questions in the chat box. We are going to listen to the second speaker. She is a vibrant, a young welder and fabricator, I must say. So if you have questions, keep it in the chat, and after hearing from her, we'll come back to answer all the questions. Thank you so much, Nanel. We'll come back to you. Hello, Anne. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Welcome, a young welder and fabricator. Now, you completed senior high school and you decided to not take the normal route, which is to go to tertiary, but to venture into TVET. I want you to share your story with us. Why did you decide to go into TVET? But first of all, give us a background of who you are and what you do.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you to Almighty God for giving us this life, for giving us the gift of life. And also, I want to say a very thank you to Miss Pennybrook for giving me this opportunity to also share my journey through the TVET space. First of all, actually growing up, I've always wanted to be either a surgeon or a journalist, and that is when I didn't even know what the meaning of surgeon is. When you ask me who is a surgeon, I don't even know what is it, but I heard my classmates talking about it. But then growing up, I realized that in Ghana per se, we do not take the skills very importantly. I mean, you go to the school and you are being trained, or you graduate with a certain course, and then you have no skill to match. And that is a very big problem that Ghanaians are facing. And that is the reason why I also took the step to divert and enter into the TVET spaces. Because here in Ghana, there are no, in fact, people are not employed. There are more youth people who are unemployed in Ghana. And I feel like if they have the skills to match their certifications, I think it will better the country as a whole. So these are some of the reasons why I considered and then entered into the TVET space to also learn a handy skill. So yes, as said earlier on, my name is Anne Ifua Aferibia Apia, a welder and a fabricator. Thank you.
That's So beautiful to hear from you. Usually when women are advised to go into TVET, they would normally go take the route of, I know women who are painters and welder in fabrication. I think that is a difficult thing to do. Why didn't you decide to be a painter? Because that's quite easier, but a welder and fabricator.
I realized that within a space, being a female, I realized that most of these females are not into such space. They are not into the space. I want to do something outside the box. I want to tell my story out there. I want my voice to be heard. And that is the reason why I chose the journey to be a welder and a fabricator. You know, when I was going into the school, the DTI Design Technology Institute, to go and study welding and fabrication, you know, my dad did not even know that I was going to. He thought I was going to do fashion. So when I entered into the school, it was like, Anne, who see again? And I said, well, they will say, hey, Ube to me, yeah, like, you know that. So it was like everybody was surprised. Like, are you really going? Can you really do it? Are you sure? It's like, yeah. Anything I set my eyes on that I can do, I can really do it. And that is why I am challenging myself. You know, in my workspace, they are still not used to me working with them because they haven't worked with any female before. And as to be the first female to work with such people, I mean, it's really challenging them as well. Yeah. So this is the reason
So
why I
inspiring.
chose welding and fabrication, so that my voice could be heard out there.
That's so amazing. Have you encountered being the only female? And I like that you just shared about your encounter with your colleagues. Being a female in welding and fabrication, can you share any challenges you have encountered? And how have you persevered through it? Shikane talked about perseverance. We want to understand how you managed the challenges you encountered being a female in TVET.
Hello. Sorry, my network
Hi,
is
Anne.
messing up a little. Hi.
That's fine. Yes. We want to understand what challenges have you encountered as a female in TVET, in the TVET space, and how did you manage those challenges?
Okay. Before I entered into DTI, Design Technology Institute, they made us understand that welding is not about strength. It's not about using your strength and then carrying things. They made us understand that it is just fusing two metals together. So people may say that welding is for like slow, the slow ones, or they say that welding is for slow people, or people who haven't been into school are the ones who enter into welding. But if you really look into this, you need to understand your math and science before you can able to weld two metals together to be able to have a good weld. So you need to understand all the techniques. You need to be talented, and you need to understand all the techniques before you enter into, or before you start or strike an arc. And so, and some of these challenges is when I came into my job place, and that is Globit Ghana here at Kwabenya. The men I'll be working with, they sometimes feel like you can't do the work. So normally they will say, oh, dear, my money yet, oh, my money yet, let the boys do it, let the boys do it. We are in a hurry, let the boys do it. Then there was one of my videos that was going viral. It was the guy was asking me, can you do it? Don't say you are tired. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can do it. Let me do it. So people were making fun of it. I mean, so yeah, these are some of the challenges you face working with other guys. They feel like you cannot do the work, but you still stand in, and then prove them wrong that what you are up to, you can really do it. And then as our Shikanik said, she said you have to gain the skills, and you're able to gain the skills and the techniques, you can do very well. And then now they can trust you, they can put things in your hands that, okay, you alone do this, fabricate this table, because now they are sure that when they give you a project to do, you can do it and do it perfectly well. Yes.
That's so amazing. And I like this, that welding is not about strength. I believe for a lot of young women, I go on outreaches, seeking to scout for young women to enroll on our plumbing program. And I meet some of them, they will tell you, welding there is for men. I mean, plumbing is for men. And I like that you are making emphasis and throwing light on the fact that TVET is not about strength. It's about your experience and willingness to learn. That's so amazing. Let me just read some comments here. So people are feeling inspired in the comment section. Great presentation. I think that was to Shikanik. IFWA is highlighting the value of apprenticeships and internships. We are proud to have trainings in organizations like the, yes, that's about ACTT. Great presentation, Nana. Well done, Nanefua. Thanks. Awesome. So I have a question to Shikanik. So the first question is that you have highlighted on the essence of continuous learning as a tradesman. How did you know where to start when you first came to the realization that there was actually so much to learn? I'm sorry, I think you are muted.
True. Forgive me. That's a very good question. And Douglas, thank you for the question. But I'll quickly touch on what Anna said. So I see a full circle here. She wanted to be a surgeon, but she's a welder now. And if you ask me, you are a surgeon. If you ask me, I think once you're able to fabricate and weld things perfectly, there are some welds that you want. I'm your Ghana Hannah. So Anne, please let's aspire to reach that type of one where people ask, hey, Ghana need a weldy way. Because I've seen a lot of welds around where they say, oh, me the potty befaso. Potty is like something to cover up, like a filler sort of to dress. It's a dresser. So, oh, let me just weld, I'll dress it up. But if you can go on to weld perfectly, that you don't even have to paint over it, you don't need to even dress it, you will be the best welder, and i.e. the best surgeon. So I believe you are still on your path to being a surgeon, if you ask me. Now let me go back to the question. How did I know? Where did I know where to start? I started unsure. I started scared. I started when I didn't know where. I just did it. So Douglas, mostly we are always waiting for the right time, the right place, and when everything is right, when all the lines are in place before we start. But just jump, just start. So one time, I have a very curious mind. So even though I was the office assistant, I would ask questions. And I think I mentioned that I always used to ask questions. So I had asked my master then about things on the dashboard, lights, what it means. And so we spoke about certain lights. Next day, he didn't come. My master wasn't at work. I was the only one there. And a customer drove in from Tema. This guy is one of our repeat customers. He came here, bought a brand new car from Tema, and he came in and says, oh, there are some lights on my dashboard. I'm looking for your boss. And I said, oh, my boss is not in, but how can I help you? He said, what do you know? It's fine. I'll come later when he comes. I'm like, oh, no, please give me the chance. He showed me what it is. Then, lucky, we had discussed this the nights before. So I said, oh, this is what it means. When your cars are put on the ship or the containers, they deflate the tire so it doesn't roll. So you just have to do is pump it. These are the specifications, pump it. And he was amazed. I think that was my light bulb moment. Like, hey, Nana, you know what? A lot of these men, do not read their manuals. A lot of these men do not know about their cars. So if Nana, you're able to teach him respectfully, it means you've discovered something, a problem in the society, and you found solution to it. So, Anne, it will surprise you to know that these guys that say, "Oh, Mamiya, Anne, don't me, Mamiya," they don't even weld better than you, Anne. They don't. I went to a gas station one time to top up fuel, and my terminals got loose, so my battery, and when my car went off, the engine went off, and I had to jump start it. I'm a woman, so everybody assumes, what does she know? So this gentleman comes over, brought in his jam cables, and he was doing it wrong. He was putting the negative or the positive and the positive, like he was doing it wrong. I said, please, no, don't. And like, hey, now me, why are you trying to correct me? I said, please, respectfully, it's my car. Let me do it. So yes, these are some of the society expectations, and sorry, I digress. But what I'm trying to say is, and I love the attitude that you have. I like that you don't allow what people say or think stop you, but it's important that you get better. It's important that you let that be your standard. Weld such that nobody can even see that it has been welded. Let that be your standard. Weld such that we don't even need to dress it or spray over it. Perfecto. Now, Douglas, I hope I've answered your question. Just start. Don't wait for the perfect time to start. Just do it.
Just do it. You don't have to wait for the right time or the perfect time, Douglas. Someone is asking, can you share with us your social media handles so as to connect, please?
Yes, I will. It's Shikanik GH on Instagram. She can, and I see Shikanik GH on Instagram, but Shikanik across all the social. So Shikanik on Facebook, X, Threads. I think I'm on TikTok. I think so, but it should be Shikanik on TikTok as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Question to Anne. Do you actually make money from the job? People assume that blue-collar workers do not make decent incomes, and we want to hear from young people in the trade. Miss Anne.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
So for now, you are going to make a decent living. When you are able to learn, I'm just 1 year 6 months into this welding and fabrication industry, and then already I have my own machines. I have 3 machines already that I'm willing to start up my own fabrication shop, where I can also start up something on my own and then live earn a decent living. So with earning, you earn as time goes on. Whenever you are starting something, it starts little, but then as time goes on, when you brand yourself very well, when you're able to have the good experience and able to learn very well in it, and you're able to do whatever you are doing, you are exceptional. I mean, you are different from other welders. I think through that is how people applaud you, and then you get paid or you get more income from it. So I believe that with time, you are going to, with time and then experience, you are going to earn more from what you are doing. Yeah, people always say that, oh, welders, people in the TVET space do not earn more. Trust me, people are really, really earning a lot. I will use Miss Constance Wanika as an example. She's a carpenter, she's an artisan, and she's earning a lot. She's earning a lot. So I believe that you are going to earn a lot from it when you are able to gain more experience in the job.
I'd like to add something quickly. Sorry. So to the earnings, there's I'm a biker. There's a biker in Ghana. I think he's Lebanese, and he's a welder. And what he does is he's a diving welder. So when the ships in Ghana, maybe there's a hole underneath somewhere, he's the one they call to dive and go and weld. And you'd be surprised how much he makes per dive.
Exactly. So with the
welding,
yeah. So with the welding, there's undersea welding, and those ones you are being paid in hours. So let's say for 1 hour you are being paid $20 or $30, $50, $100. It depends. So these welders are really getting off of the fabrication aspect is different. And then we have the industrial welding, which is the heavy ones that as well. Yeah. So yeah, you are going to. It's just in Ghana here that do not value things like that. But when you go outside the country, I think you earn more money on it.
Thank you so much. We all know that now Ghana has become very hard and it's getting harder. And so everyone is looking for ways to make money, looking for opportunities, scholarships, opportunities, and just ways to make earnings. And so with the support of the Plug-in African Youth is a network of young people, which is led by Miss Larissa, and she helped us in carrying out a survey. And the survey, so I think you can see in the chat there is this survey which was carried out by almost 500 young people seeking for opportunities across scholarships, educational opportunities, and employment opportunities. And it is evident from the result a lot of people are looking for employment opportunities and educational scholarships. But the opportunities in TVET and it was so sad to find out that only 8 people out of the 500, opted or expressed interest in TVET. And we are saying that the opportunities in TVET and TVET can support you to earn a living, and not just that, but also to launch you into success. Shikanik is an ambassador, and she is a true example that TVET can support you or help you to launch into success. So there is another question to Anne. Based on your experiences, has your perception of TVET changed? If yes, how? Hello, Anne.
Hello. Hello.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Based on your experiences, has your perception of TVET changed? You wanted to be something else, a neurosurgeon before. So I don't know if you had different perceptions of TVET, whether positive or negative. And when you ventured into TVET, what's your perception now?
Before I was entering into TVET space, okay, well, my auntie is a mechanic. My auntie, okay, well, in the family, we are talented. We love to do things with our hands. Okay, so my grandmother makes pots with clay, and then makes aiwa, the earthenware bowl with clay. My father is a contractor and also an architect. My auntie is a mechanic and also a nurse. And so in my family, I didn't really see anything wrong in being entering into the TVET space. So I think that spirit has already been in me. That spirit is always in me, but just I did not notice it. But until I realized that in Ghana here, you need to have a skill. You need to build up something. You need to learn something. And that was how come welder. And it hasn't changed my perspective. I think I'm really enjoying it. I really love to weld. I really, really love to weld. It's very, I don't know, I have passion for what I do, and I think I'm not going to change my perspective on that.
So inspiring. But I'm curious about your dad. What's his perception now?
Okay, So I remember the last time I took the machines out, I was like, I'm come to repair our wheelbarrow. It's broken. So I'm come to repair it. I'm come to patch it up. And then he was like, where? In this house? I said, yes. He said, are you sure you can do it? I said, yes. When I did it, he was like, wow. He said he never knew he had a daughter that could now use machines and weld two metals together to repair this thing. I mean, he is impressed. He's impressed. Yes.
Definitely, we all can. And Shikanic, a young mechanic, who is a she? And she's also, her story also tells us that we can. Being a female, you can venture into any trade area you want to. And Anne highlighted that it's not about your strength. And also, you have to keep learning and learning and learning. You never have to go out of learning. It should be a continuous thing. That's so amazing. Douglas says that I dare to say that Anne seems to be like a young Shikanic. Definitely.
It is.
That's
You know,
so
Shikanic, I'd say Shikanic is not an individual. Shikanic is a movement. So I am happy. I am beyond excited that ladies like Anne and a lot of women now are embracing this and they are proud. You can tell. So it just has to take somebody to start this movement and it will catch on. So yes, absolutely. Anne is a Shikanic. So Shikanic is not an Ifwa. You, Anne, you're a Shikanic. All the ladies in TVET, they are Shikanics. And every day when I call myself Shikanic, it is telling me that I have a duty to go on to be the best at this and to prove to the world that women can do it. So Anne is in her own corner, proving to her world that she's beyond capable, proving to her family, to her workers, even to herself, that she's beyond capable. There are times Anne just wouldn't feel like doing it. And I know as a woman, we have 4 personalities. There are times, hey, you know what? Why don't I just go and sell wig? Why don't I just go and do makeup? I'm a pretty girl. Why am I worrying myself? I know you go through that. I go through it every time. So when I tell people I'm Shikanic and not an Ifwa, it's just a reminder that Nana, you have started something. It might not be rosy every time. You have jumped. Yeah, Douglas, I just jumped. You have jumped. You haven't landed yet. But keep going because there are lots of women that they need to see this positivity. Now when you go on internet, you go online, when you hear about a woman, it's about nudity, it's about some scandal. I mean, it's becoming the same thing every time. Some people have to change the narrative, and I'm so happy that Anne is changing the narrative. I'm happy that Larissa, in her own corner, is changing the narrative. Monica is changing the narrative. Penelope is changing the narrative. We are all Shikanics. So thank you, Anne. Thank you.
Last but one question. This is to both of you. What are some of the steps you will recommend as to inspire the ladies to join the male-dominated industries?
Should Anne go first?
And yes, you can.
Oh, Shikanic, I want you to go first, though. Okay, so
okay. Should I or you would?
Go first, please.
Okay, I will. Okay, I will. So, how do we get more ladies into? I think the question was, how do we inspire steps you recommend for us to inspire ladies to join the men-dominated industries? So treat it like this: the way, as a father or as a mother, the way you raise your male child is different from how you raise your female child. It's the same with getting women to be interested in male-dominated spaces. Make it cool. I think that we have a duty to make TVET cool. Add the cool factor to it. Once upon a time, we used to call makeup artistry CSF, like somebody who goes to dress up dead body. That's how it started. Or makeup artist who could CSF. That's how it started. Fast forward, it's become so trendy, so cool. Even photographers. Once upon a time, if you tell your parents you want to be a photographer, what? But now it's become cool just to see them holding their gadgets and holding the machines and hanging around themselves and taking pictures. It's become the new cool thing. I want to see a world where it is cool for a woman to be a welder holding her machines. New cool. To see a woman behind the camera taking videos is a new cool. So if we can go on to make TVET education the cool thing, I believe it's a good way to inspire more ladies to get into it.
Okay, so I also agree with Shikanek. You have to brand yourself in a certain way so that it makes it attractive, so that people can see the wow. I mean, you brand yourself in a certain way where it doesn't look like a roadside or anything. But when you do it very well, and then you brand yourself out there. You can use the social medias. We have social media now. We have our Instagram, we have Facebook, and then other social media accounts. You can use them, and then also you can use that to inspire other people as well. And that is how you can, as she said, you must make it cool so that, I mean, people will find it attractive to also join the space, to also join the being a welder, being a plumber, and another TVET education system. Yes.
Thank you so much to Nanefua and Anne. This has been an inspiring section. And from here, I'm definitely going to look into myself, do a bit of introspection, a lot of introspection, to see where I can fit in TVET, because I believe I can. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on this call. We are not done. And this workshop was hosted by the African Center for Technical Training in collaboration with the Plug-in African Youth. And we have Larissa on the call. She is the founder for the Plug-in African Youth. And both of us are dedicated to nurturing future leaders in Africa and making sure that they have access to quality training across technical trade areas and access to opportunities as well. Larissa, what do you have to say to the participants?
I came in late, but I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and I think Anne and Nanefua are role models that everyone needs. I always say that it's very difficult to become something if you can't see it, and so I need them to spread the word out there more, be the role models that young people need. Based on the work that I'm doing, we are trying to change the whole narrative that TVET is a sector for poor performing students, or you won't make any money out of it. Everyone wants, a blue collar job or a white collar job. Everyone wants to sit in an office with an AC. But there are so many opportunities within TVET. Like Anne was saying, you can brand yourself, just like Shikanek has done. You can brand yourself really well. There are endless opportunities. And I'm also, a woman in STEM myself. There were so many barriers, so many challenges that I had to go through it. But it's all about positioning and understanding what it is you want to do, not based on what someone else wants you to do. And I think we are at a time where there's a lot of information. You have access to internet. Back then, I didn't have, a lot of options. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to pursue. I studied engineering, but I didn't have examples. But now there's so much information. You have access to people, you have access to mentors. So please, if you're a young person here, I'd encourage you to find a mentor, someone you can speak to, someone who can handhold you and take you on that journey, that transformative journey of getting you to understand that there are opportunities, not just in a closed box, but outside of the box, and I always encourage young people to, venture into TVET and into STEM. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to listen to Nanifwa, to Anne, and also, collaboration with African Center for Technical Training. I see Penelope here, something that we discussed coming to action. Really excited about that, hoping that there'll be more of these sessions. So yeah, thanks for putting this together. And looking forward to the outcomes.
Thank you so much. Now, before I go into Africa Center for Technical Training, ACTT, I decided to look into the company, and then I found that the founder is a female, not just that, but a beautiful female young woman. And I thought, why would a beautiful woman go into TVET? And so she's on the call with us, and we would want to learn from her as well, her final words, what she has to say to us, and encourage anyone on the call who is considering taking or venturing into TVET. Miss Fernando.
Oh, I'm so excited to meet everyone. Everyone on the call, from IFWA to sorry, just when I decided to talk, that's when someone decided to call me. So from IFWA to Larissa to Anne, I mean, how I randomly spoke with Anne on Instagram, and she said she's a welder, and I said, oh, we're doing this call, and so she should totally join us. Wow, all of a sudden I'm getting calls. I'm so sorry. So I asked Anne to join us, and it's been brilliant so far. I think many people know how I feel about TVET in particular, and I don't even think we should make it sexy. It is sexy. Like today, right from here, I'm going back to my site and my goggles, watching people do the welding work. And really, I think that's what changes the world, right? A surgeon could be doing the best surgery in the world, and then the light will go off. And if there's no electrician, his work has really come to a halt and lives are at stake, right? The bed that they are conducting the surgery on is done by a carpenter. Think about the mobile devices that we're using, the technicians behind it that are creating the chips. There's just so much that revolves around TVET right now. When you're in a car every day, we take certain things for granted. You get into a trotro or your own vehicle, you drive from one place to the other, you expect that you get to work or wherever you're going on time, and you expect that the car will be functioning. And there's someone who's making sure that car is working the way it should. Before you get on an aircraft, before it takes off, we respect the pilots a lot. They're wearing the right uniform, they're looking sexy. But there's someone who gives the nod and says the aircraft is ready to take off before the pilot can actually do the work. And that's a technician. That's not an engineer necessarily. That's not someone who has a university degree necessarily. Even the pilot doesn't necessarily need a university degree. Most people, right from senior high school, you can go into pilot training and you can become a world-renowned pilot. So I think for some of us, I started with a university degree in economics and then pivoted in the end into TVET. And we want to cut that term short for you. Instead of me going through that 8 years before I came into TVET, straight out of junior high school, straight out of senior high school, how can you chart a clear path for yourself towards success so that we don't go through, I mean, school is good. As Ifwa mentioned earlier, once you've discovered your strengths, let's say you took a plumbing course, you're now a plumber, like Anne now, she's a welder, and she realizes, okay, now I want to, let's say, go into mechatronics. I want to become a nautical welder or whichever the case may be. Then you go to school further, you upgrade, there's further training. I mean, I'm sure Larissa has more experience in education than we all do, but education really is lifelong learning, right? You don't learn something today and then you stop. It will be a continuous process. So we're so excited that we got to host this session and that we brought, different stakeholders together. And this is just the beginning. This is virtual. We're hoping to do more in person. We're hoping to do more outreaches across various institutions in the country. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you learned a lot. I mean, I have picked up so many lessons. It's always very inspiring to hear these stories. And so I'm so excited that everybody joined us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you too for making this possible for all of us. Out of the survey results, we decided to put together a few opportunities for Ghanaians in TVET. And so I'm going to share, and we will soon be off this call. But there is a question in the chat box. If you have time, maybe Nanefua could attend to it. So,
is it a question from Nathaniel?
Yes, please.
And the ultimate thing is, should I quit or I should just still be in it? So Nathaniel, what you should look at is try to stay positive. I know it can be frustrating. It can be, but this is where your critical thinking skills and your problem thinking skills should kick in. Your master or your boss has given you an opportunity to supervise. In other words, you are the one taking care of everything that's going on. See it as an opportunity. See it as a chance to learn and create a business out of it. Don't feel entitled. He's giving you money for doing the plumbing work, which is good. It might not be enough, but it's good. But don't feel entitled to more. Rather, have a mindset of identifying an opportunity in there. How can I create a business around this? So I'm a supervisor. Can I bring in somebody to make some money? There are so many ways you can go about it. So Nathaniel, think. Look at it from the perspective of finding an opportunity and creating a business out of it. Number two, see it as an opportunity he's giving you. He's giving you a chance. He's trusting you. Number one, he's trusting you to supervise. So take that up. In some 5 years to come, if you choose to stay with him, you would easily be the go-to person. People will now come looking for you instead of your boss. Yeah, I hope I've answered you correctly, Nathaniel.
Thank you so much for touching that, Ben. So these are few opportunities we believe that if you are considering exploring TVET or looking for opportunities, whether employment, apprenticeships, or scholarship, you could look into this. First is the Bitsburg project, which is being implemented by the Ghana Enterprises Agency and is being funded by the MasterCard Foundation. They are currently seeking for artisans who have apprentices, well-experienced artisans. And if you consider yourself as one, you can visit any district, any Ghana Enterprise Agency district in your locality, or go on their website, contact them, and you have opportunity to train people and earn money from it. If you are also looking for training opportunities, there is that bit of it on the partnership as well. There is also the Ghana Growth Program, which is also funded by the MasterCard Foundation and being implemented by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in collaboration with Access Human Capital. If you are looking for pre-degree and vocational scholarships abroad, when you go on the International Education Specialist website, you will find a lot of opportunities with full scholarships available to learn a trade in plumbing or to further your education in TVET. There is the Baden-Württemberg Study Exchange Program for vocational qualified people who are Ghanaians. That is also being implemented by the delegation of the German Industry and Commerce. You can visit their office or contact them, check out for their contact on their website and seek for more clarification, more inquiries for such opportunities. Currently, Access Human Capital is recruiting a plumber. If you're a plumber here, that is an opportunity you can take advantage of. Just go on their website, on their career page, you will find the opportunity there. And African Center for Technical Training is also recruiting for carpentry facilitators. So if you're an experienced carpenter or you have experience in woodwork, we are inviting you to send in your application to us and we'll be happy to speak with you further. So we have our contact details. If you want to inquire more, you can follow us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram at ACTT_EDU, on LinkedIn and Facebook at African Center for Technical Training. And we are dedicated to nurturing future leaders, whether you want to be a professional artisan or you are an artisan and you learned it the informal way, but you want to learn it the formal way and earn a certificate. This is the opportunity for you, and we are always here to answer to your questions and inquiries. So you can reach us on any of our social media platforms. Our campus is located in Adenta, and we look forward to hearing from many of you. We are putting together an in-person career workshop, and it's coming off in May, and we look forward to meeting as many of you here as well. And so this will bring us to the end of this workshop, and I want to use the opportunity to thank Nanefua and Anne. It's been an inspiring section because of you. We are so grateful that you made time out of your busy schedules to make this possible for all of us here. To Larissa and Penelope for making this possible. We are so grateful. And to all our participants, thank you so much for joining us on this call. We look forward to meeting you in person on our campus in May, very soon. We wish you all the best. This is African Center for Technical Training. This is a place where artisans and creativity is birthed.
There's a very important quote from the current Minister of Education, Honorable Edichum, and he says, "The African youth cannot memorize their way out of poverty." And so the question today is, can the African youth memorize their way out of poverty? ACTT was born out of my personal experiences and struggles with public sector university education, unemployment in Ghana, and just my experiences with artisans in general. The goal is, if you're a university graduate, part of the 9 out of every 10 you meet who can't be absorbed into white-collar jobs, this is an opportunity for you. If you're a senior high school graduate who can't get into university for whichever reason, this is also an opportunity for you. If you're an artisan who wants to upgrade your skills and then earn better incomes, this is also an opportunity for you. And of course, organizations in industry who want us to train their employees as well, this is also an avenue.